Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about sustainable development goals, and especially I do focus on clean water and sanitations. Goal 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Drinking water 6.1, 6.2 sanitations and hygiene, number 6.3 water quality, 6.4 water use efficiency, 6.5 water resource management, 6.6 ecosystem, 6.8 international cooperation and capacity development, 6b local partnerships. Member states decided on a single SDG goal for water sanitation that look at the entire water cycle from the resources to serve and the back to the resources. The decisions of the member state is informed by the fact that all aspects of water touch on human development and none should be locked at in complete isolation. A table of 8 targets and 11 indicate under SDG 6. Bringing this in mind, we will not now focus closer on target 6.1 and 6.2, those relating closer to the delivery of the service and behavior change. Aspirational global target. The sustainable development goal and target are interested and individuals. Global is nature and university applicable, taking into account different national relations, capabilities, and level of development, and uh, respecting national policy and priorities. Target are benefited as aspirational and the global, with each government setting its own national target guided by the global level of ambitions but taking into account national circumstances. Each government will also decide how this aspirational and the global target should be incorporated into national planning process, policies and strategies. It is important to recognize the link between sustainable development and other relevant ongoing process in the economic, social and environmental field. Role of the member state. We encourage all member states to develop as soon as practicables, ambitions, national resources to the overall implementation to this agenda. This can support the transitions to the sustainable development goal and build on existing planning instruments such as national development and sustainable development strategies as appropriate. We also encourage member states to conduct it regular and inclusive relevant of the progress at the national and sub-national level which the country lacked and country drive. Such review should draw on contribution from indigenous people, civil society, the private sector and other stakeholders in line with national circumstances, policy and priorities. National parliament as well as other institutional can also support this process. Target 6.1. By 2030, achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. Target 6.2, by 2030, achieved access to adequate and equitable, sustainable and hygiene for all and in open before paying space attentions to the needs of women and girls and those in valuable situation. 6.1, drinking water. By 2030, achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. 6.1.1, population using safely managed drinking water service. Define POP. Using an improved drinking water sources which is located on premises, available when needed and free of facials and priority chemical contamination, accessibility, availability, quality. Service ladder and progress ladder. Safety managed drinking water. Improve facility located of permissions available when needed and free from containment. Basic water. Improve facility within 30 minutes round trip collection time. Unimproved facility does not protest against containments, no service, student water. Where will the data come from? Household survey availability and regulations authority. Is water always available when needed from your main drinking water source? Report hours of service. Accessibility is the main drinking water source located in the dwellings, yard or plot. Reported household connections. Quality testing for fecals containments in household survey. compliance with national standard WSPB affordability. So here is the sum of the it look like the policy implementations for country X, which as if the MDG targeted nearly entire population 98% lives in household which use improved drinkable water facility. Only 3% those facility take more than 30% of the local collect water. So we could see 95% of the population meeting the new definitions of a basic drinking water service. We do not have much data on available when needed, but if we assume that all pipeline water supplies are intermediate and assume that all uh, boreholes deliver water when needed, we estimate 89% meet this part of the definition. Of course, those are both crude assumptions. Most of these suppliers in both urban and rural areas are borehouse and the most are premises. So 70% of the population would meet the part of the safety managed indicator. However, if we adjust that 98% of our water qualify, we find that only 58% of our sources are free from local containments. The sanitation and hygiene. By 2030, achieve access to the adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all, and end open defections, paying special attention to the needs of women and the girl and those in valuation situation. Population using safety managed sanitation service, including a hand wash facility with soap and water. Definition: Pop using an improved sanitation facility which is not shared with other household and where accessibility extract are safely deposited in situ or transported or trade off site. In these things, there is a safety and manage basic, standard, unemployed, and deployed and open defections. The proposed indicator for SDG target 6.2 is proportion of the population using safety managed sanitation service includes a hand washing facility with soap and water. These represent a high service threshold and a new run of the top of the sanitation ladder used by JPM during the MDGs. The purpose of the ladder is to capture progressive improvement from no service to all and use an improved laterate to using a basic sanitation facilities. Last but not least, the proposed global SDG indicate combination use of safety managed situation service and the presence of hand washing facilities with soap and water. So every country has choice to make between moving people beyond the bottom young and helping people who are already on the ladder and to move further up. Containment, employment, transport, treatments, and the user. Where will the data come from? Household survey and regulatory authority. So our connections, facial waste research treatment plan and the adequate treatment before discharge. Septic tank, facial waste safety stones on site, facial waste imparted and treatment off site. Latin facial waste safety stores on site or facial waste emptied and treatment off site. Countrywide, so first is the standard household survey tell us 83% of the population live in household and that uses an improvement sanitation facility. And of course our JPM does not count this shareholder and if we do not wish 70% population using improved sanitations. From the famous shifting diagram we have seen that in the country XY 62% of the population has sewer connections. Among those who use improved facility which are not connected to the sewers. Click assume that the rest of the pit latrine are never emptied and can therefore to consider safe but the half the facial waste from speech. So sanitation and hygiene by 2030 achieve across to adequate and equitable sanitations and hygienic for all in open defections, paying special attention to the women and the girls and those in vulnerable situations. SDG target leave on one behind. SDG indicate to be disaggregate whether relevant income, sex, age, race, ethnicity, migratory status, disability, and geographic locations and other characters. So there are different countries information about waters and within the among countries there are different kind of implications and applications of the clean water and sanitation problem it has. Between urban and rural area we are find there are different indicators and informations. Beside that, poorest, poor, middle, rich and richest country, everybody has different kind of problems. Richest country they have less problem, and rich country they have also the less problem. But on the middle poor and poor country, they have huge problem on sanitations and water. Monitoring 6.3, wastewater treatments ratio safety trade total multi sectors, domestic waters, hazard industrial waste, data, JPM, aquastates, IBN, etc. Q water bodies, water quality index, total dissolved solids, dissolve Q, dissolve inorganics, dissolve irregular, multiple runs of a non-compliant parameter, QR index, and more parameters. Efficiency ratio, value added to valuable water used, change over 2 to 5 years period, multi-sectors, agriculture, industry, energy, multiple supply. Data from aquisats, ratio total fresh water withdrawn to the total renewable sources, research environment water, multi-sector agriculture industry municipal supply, data from Aquestes, monitor 6.5 and 6.5 IWRM implementation, composition indicator, police instruction management tools, finance, acquire weighting scores 0 to 100, data from national survey complete by the minister and consultations, percentage of the change in water related ecosystem extent over time, extends data from ground data plus exact observations and reporting on UNEP live platform. So these are the very interesting and informative things about this clean water and sanitations. And if we can follow this way, we can solve many problem in an effective way. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. If you have any kind of specific questions, you can ask me. Thank you.